Hi friends, so today we're going to make a fun little Christmas craft using one of these little mini cutting boards from Hobby Lobby. They're only $2.99 and I got it for 30% off, which just is barely over $2, but I know as it gets closer to fall they're going to be 40% off and possibly even 50% off, so watch for those. And then I'm using these two gingerbread wood cutouts from Wholesale Decor and More, and the link to her site will be below my video. Lisa's great to work with, and she has the most darling wood cutouts, so you'll just want to check her site out. But I'm painting them in a full cart acrylic paint in the color Coffee Latte, and I think it's a perfect color for a little gingerbread man. And then I'm going to paint the cutting board. It's called Still Gray by Folk Art, and it's just a nice pan color, like I'm cooking these little gingerbread men on a pan. So I'm painting the front and the sides, and then I'll give it a dry, and then I'll finish painting the rest and give it a dry. Then we'll go from there. This is such a cute, quick, and easy craft. Easy to do several all at once. Now I'm using this puff paint, and I've never used this before, but I'm just making some little gingerbread lines on his head and arms and legs on both of them. Just kind of doing little dots, but they kind of blend in together, so like it's still one line, but it is puffed up. And I have noticed it takes a lot longer to dry. I think even hours. I gave them a quick dry with my heating tool, and then they've been air drying for a while too, but I think they need to dry completely. It'll take a few hours. And I wish I would have done the face and the bow first, but I was careful and I didn't mess up the white line, so it worked out. And I'm just doing two little dots with my stylus I got at Dollar Tree for the gingerbread eyes. And they were littler than I wanted, and so I went in deeper into the paint. It got quite a bit of paint on my stylus. I just had to wipe it off. You could be as creative as you want. You could put little pink cheeks. You could draw a mouth with maybe a marker. I just left them pretty simple. And I'm going to use red and white baker's twine for a little neck bow on both of them. So that's what I'm doing here. Just a basic shoestring bow. Just trying to make that really tiny. So I'm just putting a little tiny dab of glue on the back of it. And I'll do the same for the next one. And they don't need to be very big. The gingerbread men are probably about 2 inches high. And I think they look just really cute. So now I'm just going to use some of this gingham fabric that I tore off in strips. So I'm just using one strip of it. And I'm going to make a basic bow for the top of the cutting board. I'm just making an awareness bow. And then I'm tying some of that same twine around the middle. Going around it 4 or 5 times, I think I did. And then I'll give it a good knot in the back and cut the excess off. And then I'll fluff it and trim the tails the length I need it. Kind of fraying the ends to make it look like the rest of it. Just have to make it look just perfect. Actually, it doesn't have to look perfect. Sometimes I need to make quit being like that and making everything perfect. Then I'm just wrap the twine around my fingers about 3 times to give it some extra loops on top of the bow. I just thought it needed just something else. And I didn't knot these loops or anything. I just kind of held them together in the middle and set them down on a dot of glue there. Have these tiny little jingle bells that I got on Amazon. They come in this little size and then a bigger size, and then some rusty safety pins and some rusty stars. And the link to all those will be below as well. So just put 2 little jingle bells in the middle of that bow. And I debated, I couldn't decide whether to put some of this wired Christmas garland on it or not. And in the video I don't, but in the end, when you'll see it at the very end, I did decide to put some on. Just thought it needed something small, just something extra. And I have these little craft tags that I printed off. I made these on my computer, and I have a huge Etsy listing with all kinds of paper tags, printable tags, sorry about that. All kinds of kitchen and cooking and baking tags. This one says a little leaven from the oven. So I just cut it out, and I'm going to distress all the edges with Tim Holtz Distress Oxide in the color Vintage Photo. I really love this. I use it almost on everything. And then I'm scrunching it up, using my scissors to really rough up the edge and make it look worn and old and used. Then I'm just going to kind of glue that underneath the twine there. Now I'm going to carefully glue on my little gingerbread men. They're done baking and they're just cooling on the cookie sheet. Putting the bottom one at a little bit of an angle. And I think it looks darling. It's kind of like a faux leather cord that it came with, so I'm putting that back in. I thought it was really cute. Just to kind of finishing it off. And this is, as you can see, is a really quick and easy craft. It would be great seller for craft shows. I'm going to make some for my craft shows in the fall. And I decided last minute to put this little wooden heart button, and there's 2 holes in it, so I'm putting the twine in and out of it, and I'm going to tie a tiny bow on the top of that as well, just to kind of tie it all in together. And I will glue that in that little extra space to the right of the top gingerbread man. And like I said, this works up great. It would be great neighbor gifts, co-worker gifts, friend gifts, Christmas party gifts. And again, great sellers at craft shows. And this is it. It was quick and easy, and I hope it inspires you to make something similar. And please check out all the links below. And please like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support. You have a whimsical day. Thank you.